Hello and welcome to another episode of the Coffee with Creators podcast. I don't have coffee, I have tea right now. It is Friday, December 30th. I know this is going to be the official last episode for 2022 of the podcast, but I am recording it today, which is not the last day of 2022, but tomorrow I know that I won't be able to record, and so I'm recording it today. We're going to be going down to the States for New Year's Eve with some family friends, and so, I am doing my job here to make sure that we record it before the end of the year, and I wanted to share a few lessons that I've learned over this past year. In my role at Uscreen as head of partnerships and community, and just being in the trenches, working within a company that's just like in major growth phase right now. It's just growing super fast and exciting times. Kind of reflecting back on that, and also reflecting on the growth of my channel and my experience with growing this channel, growing a community, being part of different relationships within the creator economy, within the industry. It's just been really, really fun. And so I thought I would share some of those lessons that I've learned this past year with all of you. And so, I would also love to hear your lessons, the things that you've learned with your business, professional life, personal life, whatever it may be. This year has been a crazy one. It's been a fast one. It's been a lot of learning, a lot of, there's been mistakes made. If you're not making mistakes, you're probably not, taking risks, right? And you're not growing. And that's one of the things that I will touch on in this episode. And so if you guys are actually watching the video podcast version on YouTube, you guys might laugh at my setup. This is kind of hilarious. I've got my microphone, but I've got this jukebox box. It's a jukebox box, and basically this has a bunch of Uscreen stickers. Let me show you guys. If you guys are watching this on the video podcast, see, there's a bunch of these Uscreen stickers right there, and it's just kind of funny. That's just my setup right now with the podcast. I had a boom arm thing that goes right over my head, right in front of me, but kind of gave up on me. So I don't know. I got to figure that out for 2023. I got to add it to the to-do list. But I do like this setup right now. It's very nimble. It's very lightweight. This microphone is pretty decent. It is a Mauno, I think Mauno Fairy microphone. It's kind of a funny name for a microphone, but the brand is Mauno, Maono. And the model, or this particular microphone, is called the Fairy, like actual fairy, like Tinkerbell, like fairy. But it does the job. It's very nimble. It's a USB mic, so it doesn't have to be too fancy. Just plugs right into the Mac M1 Mini. Anyways, let's get to the actual podcast episode here. So, I want to share some of these lessons that learned over the years, over this year, not the years, learned this past year. It's really helped me to grow and become, I hope so. I'd like to think a better version of myself professionally. And I hope that it also kind of helps you, some things to think about for you for 2023, and kind of moving forward into the things that you're working on. All right. So the first lesson that I learned this year is to execute on the small stuff. Execute on the small stuff. This has been, again, it's really easy to get very overwhelmed by big, daunting, big projects. Let's go crush this revenue goal. Big projects, right? And it's often really the small things that makes the difference. I think that's what in my experience, it's the small things. It's the small, daily, mundane tasks sometimes that makes the difference. And so by taking care of the little things, you can really start to build momentum. And I found this myself. You can build momentum and create a sense of accomplishment that will carry over to your larger goals, right? I think it's a biblical thing. Like, those can be trusted with very little can be trusted with a lot, right? So if you can execute on the small things, then you can be trusted with the bigger things. And so it's sort of the same idea, is that executing on the small stuff is really the game changer. I think that's where the separation kind of happens, is in the small details and the small tasks that add up, right? And so if you can execute on the small stuff, then most likely that adds up for the bigger goals, right? And so executing on the small stuff, that's really important. That's something that I would love for all of us to focus on as 2023 comes around the corner. What are the small things that maybe you're not paying attention to, or maybe you're neglecting almost even? What are the small details that are maybe the things that will make the big differences, right? Maybe you're focusing too much on the big things, big tasks. Maybe you're getting overwhelmed. Maybe you're getting, burnt out, crushed by the weight of these big goals, these big tasks. And so you're not able to, you may even walk away from these things, right? You're like, forget this project. I'm going to go focus on something else. Try to break down those big, very big goals, big tasks into smaller chunks that you can kind of, bite into, right? Bite into and execute on and finish, complete it well, successfully, and then build on it. If you have a team, it's very important. You want to build that momentum within your team. I find that that's very important as well. Building momentum and that sense of celebrating even those small wins, right? Celebrating those small wins through the journey of going after the big goals is super, super important, right? So execute on the small stuff. The second lesson is that when people feel protected, they take risks. I've really learned this year. When people feel protected, they take risks. Whether it's in your personal life or your professional life, you feel safe, you're supported. It gives you the confidence to try new things and stretch yourself beyond your comfort zone, right? So if you want to see growth and progress, make sure you create a supportive environment for yourself and for those around you. Now, I'm going to talk to leaders in just a second about this, but if you are the person that feels like you can't take risks, right? You can't take risks. I don't know if I want to do that. I haven't done that before. I'm not sure, right? I don't know if that'll work. I'm going to go back to the things that work. Even though maybe they're not working as well, I know I've done them before. And I know what I should probably get. I have a pretty decent idea. And so I don't want to take risks. I'm going to play it safe. There's a time and place for everything. But it's also very important to take risks, to grow, right? Kind of go into, the things that you are not comfortable in, because that might be the place where you can grow, right? That may be the strategy that you need. That may be the thing that is missing from what you're doing that will be the game changer that will really turn things around for you. If you keep doing the same thing that you've been doing before, you'll just get the same results that you've been getting before, right? And so you're not really able to grow. Now, if you're a leader, you lead people, a team, another individual on your team, this is important for you. This is important for them even more, is that are you creating a space where people feel supported so that they can bring forward some challenging ideas, some new ideas, innovative ideas that can really move the needle for your company, for your business, right? As if you're a parent, as your kids, when they're little kids, they start to walk, right? How do they, they're so scared to take that first step, but they know they're protected because they know that if they fall, somebody will catch them, right? Your hands are there, right? You're trying to protect, like your hands are right under their armpits, right? And so they're able to take that step and like, okay, well, I know if something happens, like I'm protected, right? There's protection around me, right? And so they're able to take risk. They're able to take that first step, right? It's kind of the same thing as grown-ups, in your professional career, in your personal life. Are you protecting? Are you creating a sense of protection for the people that you're leading? Do you feel protected to be able to take risks, right? If you take a risk, do you think like, okay, well, I might lose my job if this doesn't work out, right? Is there that culture of, okay, I can take some risks here, calculated risks, right? There's some backing of data perhaps that you need to make that risk, but it's a risk that you can take. It's not gonna, if the risk fails, the company's not gonna go under, right? It's not a make it or break it risk, but it is still a risk that you're testing. You're taking that move, you're making that risk. Do you feel that? If not, maybe it's a conversation you need to have with your leadership, right? It's something you have to have with leadership. You need, maybe if you're in leadership, you have to ask the people that you're leading, do you feel protected to be able to take risks on our team, in our company, right? And so again, that's the second lesson that I learned this year. I still continue to hone this lesson, right? When people feel protected, they take risks. You want people to take risks. Not every single day, not with every single thing, right? But in order to innovate, to move, to become better, we all have to take some risks in life, right? The third lesson is that it's okay to celebrate achievements. 100% okay to celebrate your achievements. What's not okay is to be defined by them, right? That's the third lesson that I learned this year. It's okay to celebrate your achievements. It's just not okay. It's not okay to be defined by them, right? It's important to recognize and celebrate your successes. You want to do that. You want to, of course, celebrate your successes. You want to stop, take a pause, celebrate. But it's equally important to remember that your worth, your value as a person goes beyond any specific type of achievement. You're already amazing, right? You don't have your achievements do not define you, right? So while it's great to be proud of your achievements, your accomplishments, don't let your achievements define you, because your achievements at best happens quarterly. Right? At best, you're recognized maybe once a quarter, right? Every quarter, we kind of, a company will look back and say, okay, well, how did we do? And you may get a review or whatever, and you're recognized for it. What if it doesn't happen, for one quarter, maybe 2 quarters? You're not feeling that sense of achievement. That's going to crush you as a person, right? And so you want to make sure that you are not defined by your success, your achievements. Celebrate them when they happen. If they happen for your team members, celebrate them for your team members, right? If you're a leader, make sure you celebrate your team successes, right? Share the success with everybody involved, right? Especially if you're, the person that is sort of the face of the campaign or face of a brand. I have a lot of content creators that tune into this channel. And so if you are a content creator and this is just an example. I'm not picking on content creators, but if you are the person that tends to get the accolades because you're the face of a campaign, or you're the team lead, or you're the C-level executive, or you're the CEO, or you're the founder, you're the person. You're the face of the YouTube channel, perhaps, and you guys do a great job. You have some successes, and so you get the accolades. You get the Instagram stories with your face on it, with the milestone and stuff. Make sure that you're sharing that celebration, that success celebration with your team, right? You want to make sure you share that. Always share that with your team. You want to share your success, and don't let it define you. Just don't let it define you. It's very important. Celebrate all the small ones. Of course, celebrate the big success, but celebrate the small success as well. I try to do that here, whether it's just a small thing, hey, let's go for lunch, right? I do that with the family. Let's go for lunch. Hey, it's awesome. Great test, right? My kids will have like a really awesome result with their test at school. Let's celebrate. Let's go celebrate. Doesn't have to be crazy, right? Let's go, right? Let's go for a really, let's go for a good meal. Let's try a new restaurant. Let's do something. Right? Celebrate it, right? It's like you want to celebrate those things. You want to know that, you want to show people that when you work hard, the result comes out. It's great. Amazing. That was awesome. Let's do that again. But before we get back to work, let's celebrate it. Let's enjoy this moment. Let's remember this moment. Let's remember this feeling. And then let's get back to work. Let's do it again, right? Let's do that. All right. So that is the third lesson this year, is that it's okay to celebrate achievements, but it's not okay to be defined by them. So, this will crush you. If you are defined by your success, you're defined by hitting goals all the time, right? 2xing your subscriber numbers, whatever it is, right? If you are defined by those things will come and go, but you'll be left very empty, very hollow if you're defined by them. Defined, right? Don't be defined by your achievements. It's okay to miss the mark once in a while. We're humans, and it's going to be impossible to constantly push out this kind of production, this kind of productivity, right? This kind of output all year, like consecutively, year after year after year. So don't be defined by it, right? Find something else to define you, but don't be defined by your achievements. Okay, don't be defined by that. All right. Lastly, formation only happens in the places that you are not formed. Right? So simple. I heard this actually. I heard this from John Tyson, who is a pastor in New York. I believe his church is in Manhattan, but he has a church called Church in the City. New York City, right? And so I heard this from John Tyson. I don't know if it's an original thought from him, but I heard it on his podcast just yesterday or the day before. I was on the treadmill at the gym, and I remember it so clearly. I was like, that is so simple. Formation only happens in the places that you are not formed, right? Fourth lesson, right? In other words, growth and change only happens when you step outside of your comfort zone and take on new challenges. It's got to be tough. It's got to be a hard thing, something you've never done before. It's got to be a challenge, right? Don't be afraid to learn new things and try new experiences. These are the opportunities that will help you grow and become a better version of yourself, right? Maybe the best version of yourself, but it'll be a way to get to be a better version of yourself, right? Formation only happens in the places that you are not formed. Now, for me, there's a lot of things that I try to learn to be better at, to be more formed in, right? There's a lot of places where I'm unformed. I'm not quite formed yet. Leadership is one of them. Leadership skills. Don't be afraid. Now, this is the first step, right? Understanding where you are not formed is the first step. Being aware, self-aware of the things that you do not know, things that you are not good at, things that you can improve. That's the first step. Second step is to be willing to change it. Right? Willing to improve, accepting that I'm not good at this thing. This is something that I can be better at. Man, it could be parenting. I could be a better dad. I could be. I'm talking for myself. So whatever that is for you, right? I could be a better this. I could be better at this. Whatever that skill is, whatever that is, right? Formation only happens in places that are not formed. So we have to identify those places where we are not formed. And so once we identify them, then be willing to change, willing to improve, and then actual action. We need to seek out things, seek out resources, seek out books, podcasts, YouTube channels even, maybe courses, maybe a mentor, maybe somebody to learn from directly, maybe a coach, right? For me, podcasts is a big part of my learning. I find that I learn quite a fair bit through a podcast, whether it's being a better dad, being, my faith, my faith journey as a Christian. Leadership is huge for me right now in this season. And so I'm listening to a ton of different podcasts. Leadership Lean In by Chad Veach, Craig Rochelle's podcast, John Maxwell's podcast. There's so many different podcasts that I listen to. Masters of Scale is one that I listen to quite a fair bit as well. Reid Hoffman's podcast. There's a lot of different podcasts that I listen to on a regular basis. Some of them overlap, right? Some of the podcasts that I listen to is, faith-based, right? I'm just trying to be a better follower of Jesus and understanding, all the things, understanding the Bible, and part of that sort of overflows into leadership skills, parenting skills, all of those things, marriage, being a better husband. And so, fourth lesson, big one, and this is probably going to be carrying on well into 2023 and beyond, is just understanding that formation only happens in the places that are not formed. And so understanding and being aware of the places in my life, in your life, where you're not quite formed yet, and working to form that, right? How do you do that? Big lesson to learn. So I hope that these lessons have inspired you, to take on some new challenges, to embrace growth in the coming year, 2023. I'm excited for it. It's okay to celebrate your achievements. Again, equally important to keep pushing yourself and strive for just continued growth, continued learning. I'm so tempted to always say continued, just for more. But it's sometimes I think there's also this year has been a crazy year. I think there's also just, the fact of being content. I think being content, not content, not in like video or podcast or audio content, but actually being content, satisfied, right? In a place where you are content, right? It's, I think, really, really important, whether you have little or a lot. You got to have a place where you're content, right? Otherwise, you're going to keep chase all the time. Continued chasing. You'll never be satisfied. You'll never be fulfilled. And you'll always feel empty. There's always going to be a part of you that's going to be empty. And so being content is probably, it's not on here today. It's not part of this list of lessons that I've learned this year, but it is it's one that's always in the back of my mind, is like, got to be content. You kind of have to force yourself, because it's always so natural for us, especially in this kind of, in our industry, in many industries, in tech or, creator economy. There's always more that you can gain. There's always another opportunity. There's always something else that you're like, man, I should do that too. I should go do that too, right? Hey, that's a good opportunity. Hey, people are reaching out to you and saying, hey, you want to do this? You want to do this? You want to, do this? There's, it's like, you want to come out for this event, you want to do this revenue stream. It's like, maybe I should. But all of those things, all of those moves and decisions, when you say yes to something, you say no to something else, right? And for me, I never want that to be saying yes to all these things and then basically saying no to time with your family, time with your loved ones, time for rest, right? Time for your spiritual life, your mental health, right? And so again, this is just a real conversation with you guys, and just letting you into some of the things that I think about on a regular basis. But this year has been a huge year of growth for me. So thankful for that. I feel extremely blessed, just blessed by the role that I'm in at Uscreen, the year that we've had, just the opportunities that I've had, to start just working on sponsorships and all of those things, community. There's some exciting things next year. Like, I can't complain, and that's not a brag, or that's not a flex. But it's just to share with you guys that I think it is, super important to just take a step back. I think at the end of the year, as a new year rolls in, it's a natural place in the year, the natural spot in time each year to kind of pause, reflect. How was last year? Just kind of get a gauge and just get a sort of a pulse check on life. Not just your business, your career, but also your personal life, right? How is that going? How are your relationships going? How's your community going, right? How's your servanthood, right? Are you serving? Are you putting time in things that matter to you, that are important to you, right? Are you helping people that could never do anything for you at all? Like, are you helping those people? Are you being generous with your time, generous with your energy and your resources, right? These are big questions. But these are the questions and these are the thoughts that go through my head, outside of like all this content creation stuff and revenue stream stuff, right? I think as I get older, I start to think of the things that matter, more importantly, right? The things that really will last, those things that are like that buzzword of legacy, right? I think about that a lot. What are you leaving, right? What are you doing? What are you building that will last beyond your time here, right? And so, kind of deep, kind of a tangent, but these are some of the lessons that I have learned this year. I'm really excited for 2023. Like I said, there's a ton of traveling that I did this year, and I'm excited to do some more traveling to see some more of you, hopefully, in 2023. I am already off. I know that I'm going to be going to Las Vegas and Orlando in January. For a couple of conferences, going to be hosting some VIP events and dinners and things like that with some partners. And the year's just going to start going, and we're going to be cranking out, getting busy. I'm excited for it. The channel is growing. The podcast is growing. I would love to hear more from you. So make sure you DM me, send me a DM, LinkedIn or Instagram. I want to wish you all first a belated Merry Christmas. If I didn't greet you Merry Christmas, you didn't hear me or get it from me or catch a message or something or a story, I want to wish you and your family a belated Merry Christmas. I hope you guys had some really good family time, some rest, whether you are with family or kind of with friends somewhere, wherever you are in the world. And then also I hope that you guys have a fantastic time ringing in the new year, celebrating the new year ahead. I hope that you get a bit of time to reflect on 2022 and start dreaming of, big things for 2023. And again, thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, this is, I think, episode 70 of the podcast. Thank you so much for just being part of this journey. I've just enjoyed the podcast so much. It's just been such a life-giving thing to be able to create this type of content in this format, to go deeper in some of these thoughts and not have to rush because of, watch time and algorithm. Even though this podcast now is starting to go into my YouTube channel and it's on YouTube. I just feel less pressure to crank out watch time and go super fast, with things. And I just really enjoy this format. So I hope you enjoy as well. I'm going to bring on, there's a ton of guests that are planned and lined up for 2023 to join me on the podcast. And so if there's someone specific that you think I should be interviewing and talking to on the podcast, then please let me know. Send me a DM, leave a comment on YouTube, tag them, introduce me to them by email. My email address is on the show notes and in the descriptions. So connect, right? Love that word, connect, introduce. Let's do that. If there's anything I can do for you guys, reach out to me directly. Happy to connect with you and help out in any way I can. With that, I feel like, we're like one of those family parties and we're just like dragging on the goodbyes at the door, But thank you so much again. Truly, thank you. I appreciate you guys. And we will talk again in 2023. All right. All the best. God bless you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.